Carla here with Carla Being Crafty, and I'm here for my number 2 FlossTube video. I had such a good time last time that here I am less than a week later doing another one. So today is Friday, July 5th. I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. I basically hibernated in my apartment all day, but I am just enjoying having a 4-day weekend. I've been looking forward to that for a really long time. So I thought today was a perfect opportunity to sit down and make my second FlossTube video. Actually, I sat down to do it about an hour and a half ago, and then I didn't realize on Fridays at my apartment complex is when the landscapers are here, so there was mowing going on for about an hour, so I couldn't do it. But here I am now. I'm ready to go, and let's get started. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much to all of the people who watched my first video and were so encouraging, and I had several people send me really nice comments. Again, very encouraging and complimentary, and thank you so much. I also got a list of a bunch of FlossTubers who, you know, made comments on my to me either on my video, or I had put a notice on a couple of the stitching Facebook groups that I'm in that I had started a FlossTube, and a couple of people were like, oh, I'm gonna go watch, and my FlossTube is, and so I did get a list of a bunch of people who have mostly recently started FlossTube videos. So that's great, because now I have a big list to watch this weekend, and I love the fact that I'm kind of getting in on the ground floor of some people's channels. I'm the kind of person that if there's a book series, I can't read like book 4, and you know, I have to go back, read book 1 and go all the way through. So I really like the fact that I can start kind of at the beginning of people's channels and watch from the very beginning. A few of the people that I started watching recently, like Pam and Steph, I mean, they just had their 100th FlossTube, I think, 2 years, and I know they've been doing it for 2 years. I went back and I did start watching from the beginning with them, and I got about halfway through, and I was like, okay, you know, let me let these go and just continue watching going forward. But I do like watching people from the very beginning, so it's fun that I have a list of people, and I'll let you guys know channels that are very entertaining. So let's see. First thing I wanted to tell you guys is I did have a finish this week, and what did I do with that? Oh, here it is. This is my second attempt at this video because my phone rang 10 minutes into the first time I tried it. So, okay, so this is kind of like a half finish, I guess, because even though I did finish this piece, it's one of 2 pieces that I'm making for my friend for her housewarming gift. This is a Mill Hill kit, the red wine or Vino Rosso. I'm not sure exactly what it's called. Vino Rosso, and it's in their buttons and beads collection. So I did finish that yesterday. I got all of the beading done. I love the little grapes here. I think that's like my favorite part, and the wine glass. But and then now I can start on its companion piece, which is the Vino Blanco, or Bianco, sorry. Bianco. And this one also has grapes, but they're green, so those will be fun to do. Mill Hill kits have 2 different kinds of beads, or at least the ones that I've done so far. They have a bigger bead and then a smaller, like they call a petite bead, and you use 2 different methods to stitch them. I enjoy doing the bigger ones better. You use a 10 stitch. The little ones are a little bit more tedious. And of course there's more of them, so you end up getting stuck with doing that tedious part at the end. But I still enjoyed doing it, and I got it done last night. I was like determined to get it done so that I could show it today, and I'm looking forward to starting the second one. In case you guys are wondering, I wasn't wearing glasses in my last video. I don't wear glasses for distance vision at all. I do have a pair of work glasses that I need for the close and then the medium to computer. Anybody who works on a computer, you know that becomes an issue. But I only use those at work. I try not to take them out of my purse at all, except like in a restaurant or something like that. But my close vision, since I've gotten older, has gotten progressively worse. And I realized doing my last video, I had all of these nice notes and stuff, and I could not read them. So every time I looked over here, I was like, can't see. So I figured I'd bite the bullet and just wear my readers today. And, you know, they're cute, right? I have like 8 pairs of readers. Like I said, I'm in a tiny apartment, and I have like 8 pairs of readers spread all over the place. I have a pair by my bed, I have a pair in the kitchen, and I have 2 pairs by my craft table. And I have 2 pairs in the bathroom, one by the, by the toilet, because that's a good place to read. And I also have a pair in the shower. I've told people that, and they started laughing at me. And I'm like, hey, if you're in the shower and you want to read the label on a bottle of conditioner or face cleanser or something, you want to see what the label says, and you can't see it, it is extremely frustrating. So, yep, I have a pair in the shower. And I highly recommend putting a pair in the shower if you have a problem reading labels because you have old eyes, like I do. I also, when I started stitching, I started freaking out a little bit because even with these readers on, I was having trouble. And then I'm like, you know what? If these readers are like a 2.0, my eyes actually don't match. I have one that's worse for distance and one that's worse for close, and I have a slight astigmatism and stuff, but everything's kind of slight, but the readers do fine for normally, but these are 2.0, and I went online and I found 4.0 readers to use for when I'm stitching, and so that's great. But then I can't use them for anything else. So if I'm stitching and then I want to go look at the computer, I have to change glasses because the stitching ones are too much. Anyway, so, those are the joys of getting older. It isn't for the weak at heart, Okay. As far as whips, this week, I worked a little bit on a bunch of the different projects, the ones that I showed you last week. But I'm not going to pull them out and show them because it wasn't enough to be interesting on any one thing. Except for my Blend in Place. Which again I just lost. Hold on. Here it is. I realized in reviewing my video last week that I wasn't super diligent about telling you like fabric counts and like where I got the fabric and the name of the fabric and stuff like that. So I will try to be better about that. I don't know if I had the cauldron done in the last video. But I did get that finished this week, I think. And I started on the Werewolf, which is so little done you can probably barely tell. The other thing, oh, and I did the 2 spiders that I was missing are on this side. The thing about this piece that I forgot to tell you, oh, and I just said I was going to be better about the fabric, and I just forgot almost. This is Jewel by Picture This Plus, and I got it from a shop on Etsy called The Cottage Needle. But it's a 16 count Aida. It's soft. It's gorgeous purple color. To me it just goes so well with the Halloween colors and everything. I just love it. So one of the things I decided to do with this piece was to use it almost as like a test pattern to allow me to try out specialty flosses. Because I just thought that would be cool, and there's a lot of things that lend itself. So in this pattern, the light, it looks like white. Actually, it's charted for really pale yellow, but I did use a white because I got DMC glow-in-the-dark floss. So that it's really cool. It does work too. I kept testing it as I was sewing. I put it under the light, turn all the lights out, and ooh, look, I could see it. So I use that for the white around the moon, and I'm gonna use the glow in the dark for the ghost as well. And then some of the other specialty flosses for the white and very light gray in the Werewolf's face and chest. I got Whisper floss, which is a mohair fuzzy floss, so I just started working with that. It's interesting. The stars down here, these are buttons, but it was also charted to stitch the stars. So I'm going to stitch the stars with a metallic. I have both DMC and I think I got a Krynic gold metallic. I don't know which one I'm going to use yet. I've tried a Krynic, not the gold, but I have tried the Krynic on my Heaven and Earth Designs piece, and I have tried the DMC gold metallic on the other piece I'm doing, the Everything There's a Season piece, but I don't know which one I'm going to use on this yet. Then I got a red, or actually two red metallics that I'm going to use inside the Vampire's Cape, and I think that's it. But I'm having fun doing this piece, so I mean that's the important thing, right? I've kitted it up as I'm going along, so like when I was doing the moon, I just kitted up this part right here, these 4 or these 5, and then I started doing the witch, so that got these done, and then I think these purples were in the witch too, and then I just started working on the werewolf, so I kitted up the rest over here. And I use the Call for DMC if I have it, and if I don't have it for this piece, I'm just picking something else. I like that method so far. I mean, I'm sure that there's going to be charts that I'm just going to kit it up as stated, but I don't want to say I'm not a rule follower, because I am a rule follower, but for certain things, it's like, you know, as many FlossTubers say, there is no stitchy police. So, you know, do what you want. And it always kind of like cracks me up when I see people on the forums and Facebook and stuff who are like, is it okay if I do XYZ? And it's like, it's okay to use whatever size fabric or count fabric you want. It's okay to use whatever color fabric you want. It's okay to use whatever floss you want. And for me, I actually like changing flosses if it's feasible, and if it, you know, if the pattern warrants it, because then it's more mine. I mean, I am not at a point where I feel like I can design anything myself, although maybe someday I will. But you know, if I choose different colors and I do it my way, then it's a more unique piece. So, you know, and then I have the memories of doing it because of the thought involved in doing it that way. So anyway, so that was my work in progress, my whip for this week. Funny story, my best friend Tracy, I wonder if she's gonna be mentioned in every video. I don't know, maybe we'll see. But she was watching my video and gave me so much, you know, props, and she's proud of me, and you know, it's great. But she was watching the video with her partner Jason, and I got to the part talking about whips, and I don't know if Jason was like really watching or just kind of half watching, but that really sparked his interest. All of a sudden he was like, what, she's pulling out whips? Carla has whips? So he definitely took it the wrong way. Although that might be a good FlossTube, you know, if you're a crocheter, you could call your channel Whips and Chains. So that, you know, there's an idea. Thank you, you're welcome. Anybody wants to steal that? I thought that I would talk about a little bit about the tools that I'm using, kind of being a new stitcher. I don't have any preconceived notions, so I've, you know, started using certain things, and I can give you my opinions on them. I do prefer using hoops for most of my stuff. I got this set. There's one other one, I think it's this size, but I got this set of 5 hoops on Amazon for less than $5, and these are really good. So I highly recommend these, and I will try and I don't know if I can figure out how to link, you know, like a link to Amazon below, but I can definitely do a description of them below. They have a really long screw, so you can do it one-handed. So that part, they're very easy to tighten and loosen. And the thing that's really great about them is, I think you can see on the side, there's an indentation on the middle, the insert in the middle, and then on the outer hoop there is a protrusion that fits into the indentation and makes for a really tight fit with your fabric, and you can pull it, you know, you can pull your fabric really tight and get a really nice drum tight surface, which I love. And these things were, I mean, they're super light, so they don't hurt your hand to hold. They're plastic. They're not sharp or anything. I haven't had any damage to my fabric. Now granted, I am using Aida, and it is a thicker fabric, so if you were using linen or something, I don't know, you know, I don't make any promises on that because I have no idea how it would work with that. But if you like hoops, I recommend these. You know, 5 for less than $5, and I think that they're really great. Plus they're pretty colors, which, you know, I like. So so that is a 2 thumbs up from me. Now, a 5 thumbs down were these. I got a set of 4 of these, and then there was a bigger one. I thought, ooh, they'd be cool because they're square and I can fit more in. These things are crap. So do not purchase these. I do not recommend them. The screw is too short. It's hard to work with. The little tiny ones are okay, but you know, they're so tiny, it's like they're hard to stitch in anyway. You don't get a tight fit. It's too smooth, the fabric slips out, and you know, and this is, I guess, not the manufacturer's fault. I should have realized that you cannot get proper tension on this shape because, especially on the big one, there's no support on the sides. So anyway, I'm keeping them because I think I will be able to frame things in them. You know, I'll be able to use the 5 of them to make some kind of a finishing. So that's what they're going to be relegated to. But if you see these on Amazon and think, ooh, that's a cool alternate hoop, don't get them. I do not recommend. The other thing that I got on Amazon, which I'm using to do my full coverage pieces, is I got a couple sets of these, I'm calling them fake Q-snaps. I mean, I think the idea of a Q-snap is basically a PVC pipe with a cover that snaps over it. You know, that's the basic thing, and you get different sizes, and then you hook them together and you can make different squares and rectangles. So I got a couple different sets of these, and the one that I got that has really helped with working on my full coverage pieces is a set that had these pieces in it. So the normal Q-snaps or fake Q-snaps come with the bars and then these corner pieces, right? So you stick them together like that to make your corner, right? So that's normal. But these, difference here is that this piece, it's a normal corner that way, oops, like that, right? And then you put your other piece here. But this piece has a hole in it, and that is used with these corner pieces. So with these, you make actually 2 frames. One that is horizontal that you put on your table, and then using this, you can use an angled one, see? And then it sits at an angle. and you put it on your table, and that way you can use it hands-free, like a, you know, a table stand. But I love the fact that because it's all these different pieces that you put together like Legos, that you can make all different sizes. And as long as, you know, you have to have the width the same on both pieces, both the one that sits on the table and the one that goes like that at an angle. Of course, they have to be the same width, but they don't have to be the same length. You can use a small one just for stability, and then you can have something really tall or short, you know, whatever you want. So I did get a couple sets of that from 2 different Amazon distributors. So again, I'll put that stuff below, the information that I can get. And I like them. They're working really well. I don't like the Q-snapper, or, you know, for stitching, holding it. It's not as comfortable to me as using a hoop. I do have a little bit of arthritis in my hands sometimes, and this just isn't as comfortable for me to hold. So I don't think I'm going to use that for regular stitching, but for when I'm trying to stitch, you know, and not have to hold the frame, they're great. Even with the hoops, the big one is a little bit more uncomfortable for me to hold. It's just more awkward, whereas the smaller ones are more comfortable. So depending obviously on the project and how big it is, and how much I don't want to cover my stitches or whatever, it makes a difference on what I use. But those are the tools that I've been using. The other thing I found on Amazon, which people might find interesting, is I got this notebook for cross-stitch charts. I was looking for something to write down, you know, my projects, and I really liked this because of how detailed you could get it. So what it has, it has the title of the piece, and then the designer, inventory number. I don't know what that means. Then it has all these words that you can circle as to the style of it says design theme, and it says circle all that apply: primitive, whimsical, cartoon, animals, plants, landscape, nautical, occupations, hobbies, games, science fiction, goth, science, geeky, subversive, adult, religious, seasonal, holidays, special occasion, licensed character, sampler, words, phrases, spring, summer, autumn, winter, baby, cute, mythical, ATC. I don't know what ATC is. And then it has reproduction sampler if you do that, pattern dimensions, date purchased, coverage type, design size, pattern purchased from, floss information with a bunch of lines so you can write down if you make any changes, fabric information, project bag or storage place, I guess if you have so many that they're cataloged, type of chart, out of print, you know, it has all this stuff. It has, and then details, again, you can make notes there, specialty stitches, finishing supplies, and then there's a space for notes. So, I mean, I think it's cool to have this, you know, just to keep track of what you're doing. If you're doing FlossTube, this is good too for, you know, if you need to talk about your fabric or your specialty floss or whatever. Okay, so I thought that I would share with you guys a couple of the charts and kits that I've gotten more recently, that I'm looking forward to starting when I finish a couple of the projects that I'm working on now. This is not all of them by any means, but I thought I'd share a few with you, and then maybe a few more, and if I get more stuff, then going forward it'll be more up to date. So this one is a chart called Mouth of the Flower by Octavio Ocampo. I got this from 123 Stitch. I think this is just really cool. He has another one. This one is called Family of Birds. Yeah, but I just love this, that the flowers make the face. I don't know, this is just really cool. And then I got like a peach colored Ada to do it on. And I did already get all of the DMC for this, so it's basically kitted up. So that one's ready to go. I just recently got this Satsuma Street. More Halloween. Black cats. I have a black cat. His name's Bagheera. He might show up in one of these videos if he comes by here while I'm doing this. I just got, I think this is a new chart that just came out this year. But it's so cute. Madame Chantilly, Cats in the Rain. I got this one off of Etsy, and I think this is, yes, this is a Russian pattern, and I don't know the shop I got it on, but I just thought that was so cute. I said I have a cat. I had a dog, Frodo, who passed away in January. I had to have him put down. It was probably one of the worst days, worst things I've ever gone through. He was a Papillon, and I miss him still. And I forget, it's really bad. I'll go out to dinner and I think, oh, I can take this home for Frodo. And then I remember. And so I'm still really hurting with that. And I see dogs, and I thought I would be cool to like maybe stitch a Papillon, and I started looking at Papillon patterns and it just hurt. I couldn't even look at them. So I am not there yet. I have a diamond painting of him over there, and maybe I'll pull it down and show it to you guys at some point. But right now I'm just a cat lady. So although I miss my dog terribly. Okay, this is so, I like sew to stitch the ones that I've seen, but I thought this one was cute. Black cats, Halloween and black cats. And again, Bagheera is a black cat, so I'm kind of partial. And then this is another Sew to Stitch World Cat. Another like adorable one. And then this is actually my most recent purchase that I got from eBay, and it's a Lizzie Cave, which I was influenced by Stephanie from Just Keep Stitching, because she loves the Lizzie Kates. And then I just went on eBay and put in Lizzie Kate and saw this, and it was like $3, so how could I say no? Okay. The other thing that I have purchased recently, so I guess I would call that stash, right, or haul, and it's funny, if you are into kind of fantasy literature or movies or anything like that, there's always like a dragon, right? And dragons sit on this big pile of treasure, and they don't do anything with it. They just sit there and accumulate it, and you know, roll around in the gold. And I feel sometimes like I'm like that with stitching supplies, like floss and beads, and you know, it's like I just want to roll around in it. I'm so happy by the colors and the pretty, you know, they're my pretties. And so sometimes it's like I don't exactly even know what I'm gonna do with them, but they make me happy. So on the FlossTube videos I've been watching lately, a lot of people are talk about color and cotton, and all of these overdyed thread companies, and people, you know, enjoy using them as an alternative to like regular DMC. And I'm intrigued. I also have to be slightly realistic that I can't just, you know, purchase a whole set of stuff, you know, for no reason. I mean, I am really tight financially, and so I have to, you know, save my pennies, and, you know, I can purchase, you know, one purchase, a paycheck kind of thing or whatever. But anyway, I went on eBay, and somebody was selling a lot of, I think it was 50 skeins of needle necessities. So I did a little bit of a search about that, and realized, okay, Needle Necessities is a company that went out of business in 2007, I think, and Threadworks, I think is like comparable to that stuff now. But anyway, these floss pictures of the flosses looked beautiful, and it was a really good price. And so I went ahead and purchased this lot of 50 flosses of needle necessities. So they're all overdyed. And the thing is that I don't know how much these were originally, but I got them for less than $1 a skein, and they're 20 yards, not 8 yards like a DMC. They're 20 yards each. So I mean, that's a lot. Some of them are like highly variegated, like this one. These, they're so pretty. You know, and I realize that they're old. They're you know, they're not, I can't replace them. I can't you know, get anything else. But for 20 yards in a skein, I can do most projects with something that I find. So I was just actually really excited to get these, and now this whole world of possibilities about what am I going to do with them. So I think I'm going to try and incorporate them into the projects that I do. This green's really pretty. They're pretty. I mean, that would look really good like in a tree or leaves or whatever. So I might actually be using some of these in the Satsuma Street cat. This one. I think that they might work in this. So anyway, so that was like my big purchase last month. That and I'm actually thinking about getting another lot of them. That seller still has more, and they said that I wouldn't get exactly the same thing, which actually is cool. I mean, some of them would be the same, some of them wouldn't. I might do that. But yeah, so I mean, that was, I don't know, it was exciting for me. It's like I keep taking them out and looking at them and touching them and trying to think about what I can use them for. So I'm sure there's a lot of exciting projects in my future with these Needle Necessities flosses. The other bit of stash that I wanted to show you guys is, excuse me, my small stash of fabric. So I've purchased a couple pieces of fabric from 123 Stitch as when I first started for the projects that I was doing at the time, and I purchased a couple pieces from eBay just because they were really inexpensive and pretty. I got a really blue mottled piece, which is what I'm using for my To Everything There's a Season. And at that same time, I got this piece of bone, and I mean, it was like a couple dollars, and it's a decent sized piece. So, so I have that in my stash. Then I was looking, watching FlossTube. You hear about different companies, and Under the Sea Fabrics, I went on there, and she happened to be having her sale of the Fat Eighths, Stitcher's Eighths, something like that, that were $7 each, and they were mystery. So it's like you ordered them, and she had, the first time I went on, she had 14, 16, and 18 count Aida, and she had regular ones and she had opal ones, and it was a mystery, so you didn't know what you were gonna get. So actually I put in 2 different orders with her on those mystery ones, and the only thing that I said the first time, I said that I prefer not to get anything brown or gray, that I wanted more colorful stuff. I'm not really excited by all of the like brown tone, coffee tea dyed, all that stuff. I'm really not. I mean, some things, yes, I think it does call for it, but the kind of things I like to do, don't need that sort of antique look. And I mean, how many people on FlossTube show their stuff and it's vintage country mocha. You know, I'm just not excited by vintage country mocha. But anyway, so I got, like I said, I got a couple orders from Leslie at Under the Sea Fabrics. So these are the fabrics that I got from her, and they're so pretty, and they're all 13 by 17. So they'll fit for probably most of the stuff that I am interested in, although some things they might be a little bit too small and I'll have to get other fabric. This one is a 14 count opal, and it's called Cosmos. And they're just so pretty. I mean, again, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with any of these, but I'm kind of really excited to have them. This one is also a 14 count opal. This one's called Mermaid Sea. This sale was also a really great way for me to kind of get introduced to her fabrics, so that, you know, I know what they're like, and now if I need to go and order something, you know, I kind of have an idea of what her stuff is like. But if she has another sale, I mean, I don't know how often she does this. I assume it's like when she has, you know, the smaller pieces of fabric that she just does these sale things. Jump on it, because they were like only $7 each. It's a great price, and they're so pretty. This one is a 16 count regular Aida called Hecate or Hecate or Hecate, I don't know, but it's pretty. This one is a 14 count opal Bahama Mama, and I don't even think it's coming out as pretty as it is. This one reminds me of like a orange sickle popsicle or creamsicle. Even though there's no white in it, it's oranges and yellows, but oh, so pretty. This one is 14 count opal called Angelic, and this one actually I think is going to be, you know, this one's really versatile because it's light enough. Oh, neighbors, that it can be used on anything. And this is a 14 count opal called Black Magic. This one is a 16 count called Midsummer Nights. And this is also Midsummer Nights, but it is in an opal, 14 count opal. So that kind of gives you an idea of the difference. Now this one's 16, this one's 14, but that's the difference between a regular and an opal of the same color. And they're just, I mean, they're gorgeous. I'm just so excited to get projects for these. So like with these and with my needle necessities, I'm just like drenched in color, which I love. The other two pieces that I have in my stash, I did buy this one from 123 Stitch. It's a 14 count. It's called Confetti from Fabric Flare. And it's just got like little speckles in it. The speckles are only on one side, so I guess, I don't know if that means that it's printed. I got this actually for the elephant, tribal elephant that I talked about last time, but I don't think I'm going to do that on there. So I changed my mind. I think I'm going to use one of these really kind of bright fabrics and then use a more subtle floss for that. And then the last thing I got, this is from an Etsy shop called Dove Stitch, I believe, and this is a printed fabric also, and I cannot remember the name of it. This is a shop that's actually really close to me in Long Beach. This has a little bit of a sparkle in it, and it's got these printed stars, and I got it to do I think one of the Nadia Tate's Heaven and Earth designs. I think I might use this for those. So okay, and I think that pretty much does it for me for today. Again, thank you so much everybody who's watched and commented and subscribed. I appreciate you guys all so much, and you know, I'm enjoying this. It's a fun thing to do. As I said, the community is the best. So I'm glad to start being a part of that community. If you have any comments or questions for me, please put them in the box below. Last week I was able to kind of answer everybody's comments, or at least, you know, comment back, which you know, if I get super popular and have 1,000 comments, I may not be able to do that, but for right now it's a doable thing, so I will try to do that. But thank you so much for watching. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I do appreciate it so much, and until next time, just remember to please be content, be kind, and be crafty. This is Carla signing off.